I'm going to do a slight bit of commentating over this. So I just want to make a claim on, well, it's a general claim to everyone. It's been 2 races in a row now that we've had a turn 1 incident, and I'm not enjoying it considering I'm starting from the back of the grid 2 rounds in a row, and there's been, well, 2 incidents that 2 turn 1 incidents that I've been involved in. Basically, I've had to drop really back and slow down to like 0 to avoid any contact. Algrave, there was a bit of contact turn 1 with the lead, well, the front group, and my reserve had to deal with a driver that went off and then come back on, and Neon took him out. So I don't know who that driver was. I'm just saying that we need to sort of work together and make turn 1, race 1, turn 1, lap 1 better than it should be, because I found it quite appalling that we've had this 2 rounds in a row. So we're going to go for a little bit of my view. We're just going to do a bit over top. So I'm side by side with Porsche and the Ginetta going into towards turn 1. I brake early so I don't get involved rear end the Mustang in front. And you can see, actually, if we go to, oh, we can't get the speedo, but if we was be able to get the speedo, actually, let's go cockpit. You can see the kph going into turn 1. The speed that I actually go to going in towards turn 1 is kind of bad, like 20 kph. That's equivalent to about 10 miles per hour. We should be going through that corner a little bit quicker. The incident that I want to be talking about is the incident which involved, first off, which was the Becker incident. Becker and I think it was Becker and Buzzing Hornet started off. Becker had a really good start, whereas Buzzing Hornet didn't. Becker is actually off the track here, so this is a questionable thing that I have for this. Buzzing sort of tries to go side by side. Becker blocks or tries to get back in. This is where I start seeing things start here. So this incident here, which involved there was Kazar, had to deal with that as well after. If we go on board with Becker going into turn 1, we're just going to get him on board. If you look at his steering wheel going in towards turn 1, this is where I want to be seeing a penalty given, because he doesn't actually turn, causing him to hit Krazar, and doing that, he then also makes my teammate Bowie and I think that's Buzzing Hornet off the track, go off the track as well, and allow 3 cars down the inside, which were Cass, which was Slimsine's replacement, Adam Crofer and Schwammy. And then this is the next incident I want to talk about. All-Star, I think it was me, him, yes it was. So me, All-Star and Schwammy going into towards turn 1 were side by side. You'll see my braking now, because I wanted to brake a lot earlier so I didn't get involved in any collisions. There is another incident we need to speak before we carry on, but the steering, well, the input of All-Star goes straight on over the sausage, takes out Becker, and also makes contact with Joe Black, if I'm correct. So if we go on board with All-Star, we'll have to look at his steering. So going through the left-hander now, straight, not even full lock. This is not the kind of driving we need, and if we was to go on board with Red into turn 1, you'll see how much steering he does from here 90 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, no, 90 degrees I mean, sorry about that, 90 degrees for red going through turn 1. The next incident, which is the last one, is what carries on after this. Actually, let's go on board with Bowie. Is it? No, it's not Bowie. It's Buzzing Hornet. So Buzzing Hornet and Becca. Buzzing Hornet is going very slow. Adam Crowther, is it? Yeah, Adam Crowther is catching up to the back of him. If you go in slow mo, you see that this is kind of questionable. Adam Crowther rear ends him, stopping Buzzing Hornet steering. He then hits Cass. Bowie was, well, behind Buzzing Hornet going into the corner. Adam Crowther is in the centre of the track. He should have stayed to the centre. And then cut across to get the inside. And Bowie was already on the brakes. He couldn't brake anymore. Made a slight bit of contact with Adam Crowther after there was actual contact with Buzzing Hornet. So Bowie kind of is innocent here. And also on board Adam, if we go on board with Adam, he actually steers way too early, if I'm correct, from when I was reviewing this last night. Yeah, he shouldn't be turning. He shouldn't be turning yet. If we go on to the track side, no, not track side. We'll go on to the camera actually. Camera. You see where he is there. That's Adam Crowther there. He's turning now, so he's got easily drone. Let's go on drone. Drone. He should be turning. If he's on the outside line, he should be turning about now to make the race in line. Going into turn 1, he should have been turning where the centre of the screen is about now. Maybe about here. To give one All-Star, not All-Star, Buzzing Hornet room, also Bowie and also Cass room, because they made contact. Bowie then rear-ended them by no fault of his own. He got covered off going into turn 1, and then that caused a big old incident further back. Whereas you can see me back here, I was braking before the green barrier ends there, and I don't actually steer. Well, if I was on the racing line, I wouldn't. On this inside, I would have started steering about there, where Mr. Becker is, a bit more than he does. So there's questions to some of the drivers. This is another incident that this is over. This is just a general lap 1 incidents that I want to talk about. I want to talk about Max Ply. Max Ply has been causing a little bit of problems recently in the last few rounds with being lapped and also battling. So I'm side by side with his teammate going into the second chicane. He's just ahead of Bowie. He's already braking now. He's braking already, so that's a very early braking point. That's at least 200 meters. No, about 180. Yeah, about 180. Whereas we start braking under the tunnel. So Bowie's braking is a little better going into the corner. He doesn't steer as much and then goes over the sausage. So this is sort of another thing that I want to talk about. We go on board. This is another driver that doesn't steer. Doesn't steer. The only time he steers is when he comes side on with his teammates, like side on with him. Steering not what he should be. Doesn't steer, and then goes over the sausage, which he should have given Bowie more room. Bowie then gets overtaken by Becker, I'm pretty sure. No, Bowie keeps the position. Whereas you go to his teammate going through the corner, side by side with me, he starts steering, he allows me the room, he steers that much, and he steers that much. So it's about 45 degrees there, which, okay, that's fine. Maybe as we go on board with me, which is a totally different car, steering, about 60. I gave Joe Black a load of room just to keep up, well, carry on this battle we had. Carry on. So this is, in my opinion, this is what should have happened when turn 1 was a thing. What happened at turn 1, and also the second chicane with a couple of drivers. If you spectate, if you see Krasar 2 places ahead of me, he doesn't make the corner, he goes straight on, he then avoids going straight on, and then goes around the sausage, goes on zero wheels, and then comes back on track behind his teammate. He doesn't make a position, he loses a position here. Just a heads up, this is sort of the thing that we need to be seeing, not the hitting into each other straight. And you see Max Ply coming out the pit lane there. I go over because I see Krasar coming across. Max Ply, he's braking very early. He's braking like now. And then if you see, he comes straight across onto the racing line and blocks us, which we all three of us had to make avoiding action, which we weren't expecting to make this avoiding action on because of the lapped car. And then he decides to go very, very, very slow, going through the right hand at turn 1. Adam Crowther ends up rear-ending him, going to 0 miles per hour. Krasar does the same, rear-ends his teammate, and then I rear-end Krasar because I didn't. Well, at the point of time, they were sort of in a spot where I couldn't see them, and I was focusing on the incident. So I'm at this point of time, Adam Crowther is in my blind. I can't see him, he's blind to me. So we just go a little bit further. I see Krasar braking. You actually see me brake quite a bit. So I drop down some speed, pick up the speed, and then drop the speed again. And then Krasar hits him, and then I hit Krasar. And that gave me, I think it gave me 13 damage. So I ended up pitting because I was setting 5 seconds slower of a lap. Joe Black ends up getting past. Krasar is back there, which Krasar lost 2 positions, maybe 3 actually, because Bowie's behind us. Bowie, I think, ends up getting this isn't any claim, anything, but I want to just say about the driving of mine and Bowie's. We've had a bit of hate on our driving style. We actually done testing, a bit of testing in the dark with no lights on for this round, just so we can get the car even better. We can drive it a little bit better. And me and Bowie kept it on the track, and we didn't make any contact. But me and Bowie are very similar in skill. I go on 2 wheels there because of my damage, but me and Bowie are very close together, and we always stay close together when we're qualifying and racing. As I actually gave Bowie the order of going ahead of me. Bowie for some reason weaves. But going into turn 1, the last turn I brake a bit earlier, so I give him the racing line and he can carry on his run. I get a better run on him, and then because of my damage, which is 13, I then stay behind and then slot in behind him and try and get the slipstream, which we and Bowie do that quite a lot. We slipstream each other to try and keep each other's pace up. And even the commentator said we're doing a bit of a slingshot sort of thing to catch up to Joe Black, which we didn't intend to do, but me and Bowie are very similar in pace and racing line and skill, that we always do it. We sort of just keep together. So yeah, me and Bowie are very similar in pace, and we never intend to do the dive bombs that we have done in recent races, in the past races, but the KTMs are just not good on accelerations out of corners. We don't have the top end, we don't have the speed to get to the top end, like top speed sort of thing. We actually run our gear ratios as low as possible, because we just can't get to 6th gear, and this is the only track that we've really just got to 6th gear, and we don't even get high up into it. So we kind of are behind in the speed side, but we have the better through the corners. That's why whenever you see overtake between me, well, with Bowie and me and other drivers like Hussar and Slimsline, it's because it's always through corners, and the only reason is that because we don't have the speed. But our cars are really stable, and it's kind of as me and Bowie have a little flashing show going down the straight. But no, me and Bowie are very similar, and hopefully that this clears things up for in future, because I don't think Bowie or me kind of want to be given penalties for just our overall race, our race aggression. We want to be racing for points and positions as well. Bowie had a chance. If Bowie didn't have the disconnections, he would have been up the front with me in the championship. I totally see that, and he would have probably been higher than me. He was a quicker driver than me in general, and there's races that, well, the race that I won, it could have been his win, it could have been my win, but because of the incident that we had, he got penalised for it. But me and Bowie just are very, very similar, and we always work together, so hopefully there's no problems in future, and we can solve that. As the reason why I'm so aggressive in driving in recent rounds is because my third in the championship was 1 point ahead of 4th, I'm pretty sure, going into this round, and had 7 points to Beccaratis, who's now ahead of me. So I'm now going to have to battle my way back up to keep my position in the championship, which is not good, as I'm struggling now because of my starting from the back of the grid. So I hope that we can sort these things out. The clip that I was saying about is to do with how me and Bowie are aggressive into corners, and how we are but lacking in downforce compared to other cars. If you look at Schwammy going down the home straight, he's got a reasonable gap to Bowie going down the straight. He just makes easy pickings of Bowie going down the straight. Bowie gets in the slipstream. Schwammy breaks about now. Actually, let's go on board with Schwammy to see when he breaks. He breaks now. Okay, so he breaks now. Bowie breaks now, just after the 150 meter board. Bowie goes to the inside. Schwammy gives him the room, because Schwammy's a good driver and he knows about this. They make a little bit of contact, but that's what I mean about the aggressiveness in our cars. We have to be aggressive into corners to get our positions, because we wouldn't be anywhere in the championship if we weren't aggressive. As you can just see there, Bowie's trying to be as aggressive as possible into corners to try and get past Schwammy. He finally makes it on the inside through Lesmo 1, and then keeps it through Lesmo 2, but Schwammy will get him back going down the straight. But Schwammy goes off and gives Bowie the position, and then I think there's a bit of problems here. I said to Bowie about this. Going into Ascari, I've dropped back quite a bit because of my damage, which you can not see. But they go. Schwami goes off. Schwami's on the green. He comes back on the track, and he comes back on basically on the racing line. I was running the racing line. I had to brake and actually go off the racing line, go over the curb, and make a little bit of contact with him, which I didn't intend on making, but he came on the track just in front of me, which is kind of worrying because of that. And talking about drivers with the blue flag, Becker here. Becker being a reserve driver for GTS. He sees me, Bowie, and Strommy coming up. He's standing on the inside of the line. He stays on the inside line. We go through, no incidents there. So drivers need to be cautious of that. That's me into the pit, so I don't know if there's anything after this.